Hi, welcome back to Real Auto Reports. I'm Jonathan McGrew, and today we have the real first impressions video on the 2014 Kia Sorento. This is the EX all-wheel drive, and it even has the touring package. So we're going to give you our real first impressions. So let's check it out.
The biggest thing you're going to notice about the 2014 Kia Sorento is that it is redesigned from the front fascia so that it has a more integrated look. It's a little more curvaceous. I think that it's a much better looking front end because things look like they've been pulled together as opposed to the last generation. Now, do keep in mind that this is just a little refresh. It's not a huge redesign. So all they've done is improved on a good thing. You'll also notice the height, the intensity discharge headlights, the LED running lights that are in the top of the light structure there. And this model has the fog light addition because it is the EX. So you get a nice look here. I think I like the color teed bumpers, and of course the black with this blue makes everything come together really nicely. So let's take a look at the side. From the side, what you can see is really the blending of the previous generation and the new 2014 slight refresh. And we keep pointing this out because if you look from the back, you'll notice that you can see this structure from the previous generation. Yet, notice that the taillights seem a little bit more curved from the side. It looks like it's not as chopped off in the back, which was my complaint from the previous generation design, is it looked like they designed the whole front, the side, and then bam, in the back it just dropped off. They've added a little bit more curve, and you'll see when we go around the back that the taillight structure is pretty nice. Now, from the side, the other thing you'll notice here is that this EX model is an all-wheel drive, and you have your all-wheel drive badging in that standard Kia place. And of course, nice wheels. All in all, this gives the impression of a good mid-range SUV. And what more could you want? So let's take a look at the back. From the back, as I've said, this is where the most change has happened, in my opinion. The front, they did make things better, but it could have stayed the same, and I wouldn't have really given them a lot of flack. But the back of the previous generation is what I really didn't like. The taillights were flatter, they were bigger, they didn't look as integrated into the design of the vehicle. And when you look at the back of this 2014 Kia Sorento, what you really see is more attention to detail with the taillight structure and how it integrates into the design of the rear liftgate there. Because this is the EX with the touring package, we also have the rear spoiler over the liftgate there. Of course, you've got your rear windshield wiper, and you can see this vehicle also has park assist. And if you look really carefully above the license plate there, you'll see the rear view camera that goes along with the entertainment and navigation system this vehicle has. So all in all, I think that Kia has done an excellent job of refreshing this 2014 from the back especially. But let's take a look at the inside. From the driver's seat, what you find inside the 2014 Kia Sorento is a refreshed interior as well, and really good value here because this is the EX with the touring package. You can only get this EX model in this wave blue. You can't get it in some of the upper end models that would have even more luxury features. So what Kia has done is really position this EX with the touring package as their value offering. So what does that mean? Well, the touring package adds things like heated and ventilated front seats, blind spot detection, so you have your blind spot monitoring around the vehicle. You also get an upgrade here with the navigation system with the 8-inch display, Infinity surround sound system, and you add a 4-way power passenger seat, whereas otherwise it would be manual in this level of the Sorento and the EX. So you're adding all this. Of course, the panoramic roof with the power sunshade, so you'll see that in the real video, the real review. And you also have memory driver's seat and mirrors, the power folding outside mirrors, and the feature that a lot of people like, especially when trying to load these SUVs, that power liftgate. So yes, you do get a ton of additional features And really, $4,000 to add the touring package to get all of that is not bad at all. Of course, you also have dual climate control, that's standard, leather seat trim in the EX, push button start with the smart key, just a whole bunch of stuff, auto lights, and this is where I continue to say with all my reviews of the Kias that this is a value-oriented play where you spend less money than on some of the luxury cars or luxury SUVs out there, but you're still getting all the luxury features that you really would like to have. So let's take a look under the hood. Under the hood, we have the optional V6 engine in this Kia Sorento. So what we have is a 3.3 liter V6. It is an aluminum block and head, but what's more interesting is that this is what they call their GDI, their gasoline direct injection. And of course, that gives you better economy and better power all at the same time. So what we have is 290 horsepower and 252 foot-pounds of torque. And the Kia Sorento, from a first impressions perspective, is pretty peppy, but we'll talk about that during our driving experience here in a second when we hit the road. But under the hood, really what you need to know is that this is a peppy engine, it's a good size V6, and it's mated to an electronically controlled 6-speed automatic transmission with overdrive and what they call their Sportmatic, and that's their manual shift mode in this vehicle. Now, covering the EPA figures, you're going to have 18 miles per gallon city, 24 miles per gallon highway, giving you a combined rating from the EPA of about 20 miles per gallon. Not bad for a good size SUV in today's market, especially with almost 300 horsepower. So let's give you some impressions about how this vehicle drives from a first impressions perspective. Hitting the road in the 2014 Kia Sorento EX all-wheel drive V6 may sound like a mouthful, but this vehicle is loaded with features, and when you drive it, you feel comfortable, you feel like you've got good power. One of the things I noticed right off the bat, though, is just from the steering feel, from the way the steering wheel feels in your hands, and the way it steers around corners, is this is not going to be your high-end luxury SUV. It drives well, it soaks up bumps well, it's a little rough in the back, so when you hit huge potholes or major fluctuations in the pavement, it's going to rattle you a bit more than a higher end SUV would. So you are compromising a little bit for this almost $37,000 price point, but you are getting a ton for that money, and the driving experience matches. It is still a slight compromise off the really high-end SUVs, but it is still a wonderful driving experience, and honestly, for the money, it's hard to find a better value and blend in these vehicles. So good power, good shifts from the transmission, you're getting decent fuel economy, and it doesn't sway too much around corners or things like that. It just is a little harsher ride than I might have expected. However, it is a pretty large SUV in and of itself. So the steering's exact, it's just on the lighter side, and won't give you that same variable sense some of the other vehicles out there are. But we're going to drive this vehicle some more and give you the real review out of our real videos. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and we'll have the wrap up coming up next.
All right, so that's the Real First Impressions video edition on the 2014 Kia Sorento. We have the EX all-wheel drive that's going to be about mid-model range in the Sorento lineup. And what that means is it starts at about $31,700 according to our sheet. You might see a little bit of price variance on the website. And it options up to $36,550 as tested with delivery. Now, when we looked on the Kia website, we did see a slight bump in price because this does have the Touring Package. And the Touring Package is a $4,000, or according to the website, a $4,400 option that adds the heated and cooled front driver and passenger seat. You get the panoramic sunroof, navigation, power folding mirrors. So basically, it adds a lot of the stuff that you would have to step up to the SX model, the next up in the range. except that you get to keep it in the EX and get more colors. And so that's the interesting thing about these Kias, is it's all value oriented. So for about $36,550, you can get a lot of really good options, 290 horsepower, 18 to 25 miles per gallon, and well, a lot of really good motoring if you need what they're still calling a crossover SUV. We think Kia has done a really nice job with the facelift. It doesn't look as frumpy as it used to, and will actually compete with some of the higher end SUVs that don't have as many features. For Real Auto Reports, I'm Jonathan McGrew. Stay tuned for the real video, the real review coming up real shortly on this 2014 Kia Sorento EX all-wheel drive. We'll see you down the road.